Before I forget, tonight is a Sunday stream. It's the Life is a Highway stream. It's going to be at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight, Sunday. That's why it's called the Sunday stream. I'm going to be joined by Ethan Ralph, JF Jean-Francois Garipier, and Jesse Milestone. And we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff, including Trout and Sargoon's latest gay ops. Yes, there are more of those, unfortunately. We're going to be talking about JF's new book that just came out, and it's really good. And we're going to be talking about superhero movies and what films we should be looking forward to in the next year, and a bunch of other stuff. And there might be some surprise guests. So, just to remind you, Sunday stream tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern. Be there or be square. Now let's get started with the video. There's a joke about bankers. Bankers are the kind of people who will lend you an umbrella when it's sunny outside and take it away when it starts to rain. How many times has it happened that you're playing basketball, right? And you're playing basketball and you're a pretty shitty player, but all of a sudden you start sinking every basket. How many times, or maybe it hasn't happened to you yet, but you're involved in different businesses and all of a sudden you get all of these great business opportunities and all of them come up a cropper. All of them make you a gazillion bucks, right? Just one after the next. How many times has that happened to you? Huh? That kind of effortless success? Well, to tell you the truth, it's not an accident. And it's not your fairy godmother. What it is confidence. See? Because confidence is a tricky thing. Confidence is essential to success. Confidence brings you success. But when you start to fail, you lose confidence and all of a sudden you start to fail again and again and again. It's a weird paradox. The more successful you are, the less confidence you need to succeed, and yet the more you have it. Whereas if you fail and you need confidence, the less you have it. That's the thing about confidence. It's a tricky, tricky thing. The more confident you are, the more you will succeed. The less confident you are, the less you will succeed. And yet, confidence and success are not the same thing. One is a byproduct of the other, and at the same time becomes a causation of the other. That is, the more successful you are, the more confidence you have. And the more confidence you have, the more successful you become. And so that's why confidence is such a great thing. It's almost like a drug. And as you exude this drug, it comes out of your pores, other people sense it. And things start happening. Good things start happening to you. You know, it's like the hot hand in basketball, right? You're playing basketball and you start shooting and everything you shoot just goes right through the net, right? And what happens? What happens to your teammates? They start feeding you the ball. Yeah, because they say, you got the hot hand. And they start feeding you the ball. And you just grab that ball and no matter how open they are, they'll feed it to you. And no matter how strong the guard is up against you, you're going to shoot it and you're going to make it. It's like fucking magic. And when you see it, you recognize it. You know that the guy has the hot hand, right? And why is it? Why is this magic happening to him? Well, it's very simple, because as you succeed, you start feeling more confident. You start feeling more natural about your ability. It feels like just a natural state of affairs, and you don't feel that you have to do anything. It's just going to happen, and paradoxically, it does. But on the flip side, of course, is that when you lose confidence, no matter how open the basket may be, you're going to flub it. You're going to try to put that ball into the hoop, and it's just not going to happen at all. You can be, the richest guy in the world driving the Lamborghini and have $1 million in your checking account, and you go up to some middling looking girl and you just say, hey baby, and somehow she's going to just smell the lack of confidence coming off of you and she's going to fucking run away. Yeah, it happens to everybody. It happens to everybody in both cases. In the case that, you're hyper confident and everything is going your way and everything comes up aces. And it's happened to everybody that, you're zero confidence and you fail at everything. Now this is something very, very tricky Very, very tricky, and you got to be very careful when this starts to happen. In both senses, by the way. When everything is coming up aces, and when everything's coming up just deuces. You know what I mean? You got to be very careful and understand and recognize what's going on. Somebody I learned playing squash. It's very easy to knock the confidence out of somebody. It's simplicity itself, as a matter of fact. And this is what I was taught, and it served me well. I'm playing some opponent, and the guy is whipping my ass, right? I'm playing squash, and just the guy is just shooting shots that just I cannot reach, right? After any one particular shot, any one winner that he shoots against me, you know what I do? I go up to him and say, man, you are an amazing player, and that shot was amazing. How did you make that shot? What's going to happen is that the guy is going to smile, of course, because you're complimenting him and you're telling him what a great player he is and what a great shot he made. And he's going to start to think about what he's doing. And as he thinks about the mechanics of what he's doing, he's going to start to get self-conscious. He's going to start to get self-conscious, and he's going to start to question whether it's this thing that he does or this other thing that he does. And he'll try to explain to you what he's doing. And he might succeed or fail in the explanation. That doesn't matter. What's going to happen is it's going to totally knock him off his beam. His confidence is just going to go out the window. And he's going to start making mistake after mistake after mistake. And as he makes his mistakes, that confidence, that bulletproof confidence that had him making winner after winner after winner, it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone out the window. And it's just going to be like, loser after loser after loser. Yeah, that's how you knock somebody off their game. But more to the point, it teaches you what's going on with confidence, see? With confidence, when you're confident, you are no longer thinking of the mechanics of what you are doing. You're just doing it naturally. You're not focusing on any little minutia. It's all muscle memory. And I'm not talking about just sports. I'm talking about everything. As you practice, as you gain muscle memory in whatever activity is going on, as you forget about yourself, as you become more, frankly, a Buddhist insofar as your activity, of not paying attention to the mechanics because they're so ingrained, they're so muscle memory, you're just going to naturally do the activity and naturally succeed. That is how confidence translates into success. You have it so ingrained what you have to do in order to succeed. It has become so much a part of you that you're not thinking. So what you have to be doing, of course, in order to succeed, is to practice and practice and practice. No matter what activity it may be, practice it until you are practicing it in your sleep, practically. Practice it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature, until you've forgotten the mechanics of what you're doing. And then naturally you'll start to take off. Naturally your confidence is going to, lift you off the ground. See? Because in everything in life, it's practice. The more you practice something, the better you get at it. The more you practice picking up girls, the more you practice playing basketball, the more you practice at doing different businesses and what have you, the better you get at it. It's the experience, the muscle memory. And that muscle memory, as it becomes more and more ingrained in you, that is what will give you success. The confidence comes from practice. The practice gives you the confidence to get you success. But now, what happens if you're thrown off your beam? Because it happens. Of course it happens. What happens is that you miss the basket once, and that's fine. You shrug it off. And then you miss it on a second time in a row. And then you get a little bit like, what the fuck? And then the third time you start to get nervous, and you start to question yourself. And that's when you start to fail. And as you fail, failure begets failure. Because as you lose your confidence, as you begin to question yourself, as you become more and more insecure about what you're doing, you start to get all awkward and nervous about an activity that you've practiced. And you're good at it, right? You might be an excellent basketball player, but it gets into your head, you get knocked off your beam, and all of a sudden you can't score to save your life, right? It's because you start to think it too much. And of course, the pressure. The more insecure you are in the high pressure moment, the more likely you are to fail. And failure begets failure, and you just go down the toilet. And it's a horrible thing. And it's happened to me. It's happened to everybody. Every guy over the age of 40 has gone through one of these, these cold streaks, that the thing that they're best at, the thing that they're really fucking good at, they just lose. They go from loss to loss, failure to failure, over and over and over again. And they're good at it. I was good at it. Yeah. It's happened to me. It's happened to everybody. Now, to get out of it, how to recover confidence. It's simplicity itself. When you're in the grips of it, you're going to be like, what the fuck? How do I get out of this hole that I'm in? Like, please, God, save me, But the way to get out of it is simple, and it demands humility. The first thing you have to do is recognize, I'm in a hole. I'm on a cold streak. How do I fix this? That's the first step, because usually just by the recognition that you're in a cold streak, just by that cold-hearted appraisal and realizing that you're fucking up, that's usually the first step. Then the second step is really easy. Suppose you're at this level insofar as your success. I don't know, you're playing basketball, whatever the fuck it is that you're doing, right? You're at this level and you start to fail and to fail and to fail and to fail, right? You're at a level of complete incompetence, right? This is what you do. You don't continue to try to make it at that level. No, you don't. You're at this level. What do? You take 2, maybe even 3 or even 4 steps down the ladder. You make it simple. You make it easy. You get down to a level where you are sure to get success. Suppose, you're striking out with girl after girl after girl. Then what do? You don't go after the 10s and the 9s. No. You go after the 4s and the 5s. Yeah! you slum it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You go for the 4s and the 5s. Sweet talk them into bed, right? And what's going to happen? You're going to start getting successful with them, with the 4s and the 5s, and you inch your way back up to the 6s and 7s, and then the 8s and 9s, and then you're back in the ball game. Right. That's how you do it. You pull back and regroup. You don't try to maintain failure at a high level. Because if you keep on failing at a high level, what's going to happen is that your confidence is going to be shattered. The more you beat your head at a high level, it's ultimately going to break your skull, to make a very ugly and messy metaphor. You see what I'm saying? The more you try to go after the 9s and 10s and fail, the more you're going to lose confidence. And as you lose confidence, you're just not going to be able to succeed at any level. So it is much better to take 2, 3, maybe even 4 steps back, regroup, and then try again. Try to rise again. Try to rise up to that higher level that you were at. And you'll be surprised, because a lot of times what happens is that you're at a level, just say for the sake of argument, you're at a level 7. And you're failing at 7. So you regroup and go down to a level, say, 4. And you get good at 4, of course, because 4 is easy for you, and you succeed, and you start to go up the ladder. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then all of a sudden you'll break through and you'll be at 8, 9, 10. Because what happens a lot of times is that, see, you might be hitting a level of incompetence, and you just need to regroup, figure out what you were doing wrong at that level 7, and once you've figured it out, you start from level 4 and you just go right up the ladder, breaking through 7 and on into 8, 9, and 10. You see what I'm saying? That's how you succeed. That's how you regain confidence. Continuing at a level where you are failing is only going to hurt you. And it is not cowardice. It is not pussying out or being a cuck to pull back and regroup. No. It's the smart thing. Because other times, retreating is a cuckold move, is a faggot pussy-ass move. Yes. But when it comes to your confidence, no. When it comes to an issue that you can succeed at that level 7, but right now you've lost confidence, then you got to do the smart thing. Because, see, confidence is a finite resource. It really is. You can rub it away, and it takes a long time to recover it. So a lot of times it's much smarter than, instead of trying to bang your head at a level where you're not succeeding because you've lost confidence, not because you can't do it, but because you've lost confidence for the moment, for whatever reason, it is much better to pull back, regroup, and muscle through up. Now, what's the issue with confidence? Does confidence help you with success? Yes, of course it helps you with success, but it's a very interesting way in which it helps you with success. Because what happens with confidence is that, see, other people perceive it. That's the issue with confidence. I was telling you before about, you're playing basketball and you got the hot hand, you're confident, right? And your teammates start to feed you the ball, even though when they're wide open and you've got like a point guard who's really all over your face, right? They start feeding you the ball. Why? Because they can smell the confidence coming off of you. They can see, just by glancing at you, that you've got that bulletproof confidence. That's why women, hot women, will flock to you when you're indifferent to the outcome. That's why business deals, good business deals, will be steered your way when you're confident, when you're making it, when things are going right in your career. Because other people perceive your confidence. This is why it's so important. And by the flip side, other people perceive when you are lacking in confidence, when you don't have that confidence of the winner, when you are insecure, when you're tentative, when you're like, I don't know, please, I think I can do it, maybe. Nobody wants to have anything to do with you when you're this big, insecure pile of pathetic. Okay? When you are lacking confidence like that, nobody wants to be around you. No girl wants to fuck you. No prospective business partner wants to make a deal with you. Nobody's going to be feeding you the basketball. Of course not. People sense that lack of confidence. They can smell it. I did a video the other day, Money Changes Everything, right here, right? And I talked about how I went into this clothing store, an expensive clothing store, and I was dressed like shit, right? But I had money. Yeah, the sales guy, he could smell the fact that I had money. That money gave me confidence, made me secure about being in this very expensive clothing store, even though I looked like a homeless guy, right? Yes, exactly. We are social creatures. We recognize a guy who's alpha. We can smell it. We can smell the guy who's confident. We can tell when the guy has got it, whatever it might happen to be in any given situation. We can smell it. There's something about a guy who's confident, who's winning, who's making it. You can spot him in a crowd. That's why confidence is so important. That's why this video is important. You got to pay attention to your confidence level. And you got to take care of it. Don't squander it. Don't do stupid shit just because you feel confident you'll make it. Because you start doing stupid shit thoughtlessly and you'll start to lose your confidence. Confidence is something that is hard won, and to start losing it foolishly because you start making mistake after mistake. No. Confidence is as important as your financial capital. Let me put it to you this way. Suppose you've put together a little nest egg of $100,000. You've scrimped and saved over like 5 years and put together this $100,000. And you're thinking that you're going to use it perhaps for a new business or perhaps for some rental property or some move like that, right? And suppose, I came up to you and I say, hey, why don't you spend all that money on an expensive car? Would you do it? Of course not. You'd be a fool to do so. And you'd be a fool to do so. You've scrimped and saved for 5 years and you got this $100,000 nest egg. You're going to put it to good use. You're not going to blow it on something stupid, right? Same with confidence. You cannot afford to blow it on something stupid. But a lot of people, especially people who've had their first success and they're sort of like discombobulated by it, a lot of people start getting involved in a lot of stupid shit, squandering their confidence. And all of a sudden, these stupid things that they start getting involved in, they fail. And failure begets failure, and they start to lose their confidence. And as they lose confidence, people start to smell it. And they start to abandon him, quite frankly. Because that's the thing. Everybody wants to be around a confident guy. Everybody wants to be around a winner. But as you lose, as you fail, you start to lose confidence. And as you lose your confidence, people want to get the fuck away from you. And as they get away from you, as you find yourself isolated, more losses accrue. Then you start to feel less and less confident until you're suddenly isolated, no friends, no prospects, nobody, nothing, zero, zilch, and you feel like shit. It's happened to everybody. It's happened to me. We all go through a period like that. And when that happens, we got to rebuild. And you rebuild with baby steps. You rebuild by regrouping, going down, starting from scratch, and rising back up. That's the way you rebuild your confidence, and it takes a long fucking time. Confidence, like financial capital, is not something that you just get overnight. It takes a long fucking time to get it. But the way you get it is by practice. Practice. You don't scrimp on practicing. You don't try to get around it. You got to suck it up. You got to, eat a whole bowl of shit and ask for seconds and then thirds. That's how you do it. You want to fuck the 9 on a 10 scale, the 10 on a 10 scale, the supermodel at the fancy party? Well, then you're going to have to sweet talk some 3s and 4s, some fatties. You know what I'm talking about? Some land whales. Yeah, you're going to have to charm them first and climb the ladder and get through the 5s and the 6s and then the 7s and the 8s. Those bitchy fucking cunts who are so fucking entitled, the ones who are sort of pretty, but ugh, right? Gonna get through those too until you finally get to the 9s and the 10s. It's practice. You cannot scrimp on practice. There are no shortcuts. But once you have lost confidence and are in that hole, and once you're trying to recover, and once you recognize that you failed and that you blew it, and now you have to rebuild. Once you're in that process, and as you rebuild, the confidence you acquire will be a lot stronger. You will really know who you are. And the experiences of your failures will guide you and help you avoid the pitfalls, and will make you much more cautious and conservative sometimes, yes. But at the same time, it will make you wiser. Confidence is such a fickle thing. Don't think you can fake confidence. You can fake a little bit, just a tad here and there, You might not totally be able to do something and you sort of like fake it and you'll be able to get away with it. But you can't really fake it like that fundamental confidence, that core confidence, if you will. Because there are a lot of times that you can fake knowing something and get away with it, and people will let it slide. But people will not forgive you if you're totally faking it, okay? You got to build that confidence. And the only way to build it is by practicing. Practicing and building it organically. That's the best way, really, to build confidence, organically, little by little. Practicing and practicing and practicing. Because it's the kind of confidence that will not leave you. Especially, it will remain with you when everything else is gone. You'd be surprised. You'd be really surprised that a lot of times, confidence, that knowledge that you can pull it off, that you can do something, that knowledge sometimes will be your only friend. And if you treat him right, he can be your best friend.